super pumped, as usual, to share this message with you today. And we're going to be talking about awareness, expanding your awareness and how that's going to result in more loan closings and more money for your business. Let me give you an example. If you are aware that there is professional marketing strategies and professional coaches out there that can expand your awareness and help you stay on track to not only just make, let's say, for example, 6 figures a year or multi-6 figures a year, but doing that per month, would you do it? Or why aren't you doing it right now already? So before I dive into it, I want you to make sure that you follow, like, subscribe, and get ready to, by the end of this, share this episode with a friend who needs to hear it to expand their level of awareness of what's possible in their business as well. So I just got done training a lending team. So they did a Facebook ad. They saw my Facebook ad, opted in on my landing page. They liked the verbiage. They showed up to a MasterClass, and bam, not only did I start coaching her, but she wanted to bring in her manager, the owner of all 3 branches, and have me train all the loan officers on the kind of things that I'm talking about, which is time management, marketing strategies, and mindset, right? Those 3 pillars is what I rely heavily on and what I love teaching about, because it's so important for us to be aware of where our pitfalls are and where our strengths are in each one of those 3 categories. So at the end of it, I was asking for the aha moments, and I said, what do you feel like your main takeaway was from my Monday, Wednesday, Friday trading? She said, Tiff, when you said that you can actually make 6 figures a month when you automate and you proactively market and you manage your mind, you manage your time, you can not only go for $100,000, $300,000, $500,000 years, but you can actually do that per month. I mean, there's people, my coaches that I've either paid or influencers that I follow, they make $1 million sometimes in a day. So if we had the opportunity to do that and the awareness of what that strategy looks like, wouldn't we do it? Like, you better be shaking your head right now being like, hell yes, I would do it. But the problem is that you're not aware of what those opportunities are, or you're not aware of what the kind of coaches are, like yours truly, that can help you get there. Like, my eyes got opened big time around 2017 and 18, because I started to think, you know what? I'm burnt out, which I wasn't even aware that I was burnt out. I thought this was just what my Monday and Friday, Monday through Friday needed to look like. I was burnt out, didn't really realize it, didn't realize the toll that it was taking on me. And I had no idea, because I wasn't aware, no idea that there was all these other opportunities out there outside of the mortgage industry that can help me scale my business. Once I started investing in coaching, professional, organized coaching outside of the mortgage industry, because it didn't exist at the time, I brought it to the mortgage industry. So I went out, started paying, to date, probably about $250,000 that I paid in coaching outside of the industry. Brought it in, wrapped it in a pretty bow, so now my students can become aware of what's possible. When my eyes started getting open to, oh my gosh, I can actually buy email addresses in bulk, and I can start marketing, and there's actually like a framework, and there's automations, and you can master your CRM, or if you don't want to, you can pay a virtual assistant. I became aware of how to find virtual assistants, how to delegate to them, how important content creation is, and the right kind of content creation. And then I started to see the numbers and how much you can make in a month versus a year. Like, my head almost popped off. Everything changed for me, and I started going after it. Now, my peers, my friends, sometimes probably even my family, when I first embarked on this journey, I know that they were thinking like, what is this girl doing? Why is she spending all this money? Why is she like up all night, learning these things? And who's this coach now? And who's Russell Brunson and ClickFunnels and, Shanda and all these people and Julie Santiago and all these people I'm plugging that I paid for coaching. I know that my even competitors looked at me like I was crazy. Like, what's she doing making all these cringy videos? And because I expanded my level of awareness of what was possible in my business. And once I had realizations of phrases like small hinges move big doors, once I became aware of what my subconscious was telling me, lies that my subconscious was telling me, and how to move away from that and expand my success consciousness, my prosperity consciousness, realize someone had me break down my money story and what was broken with my money story and how to fix it. So when I was growing up, money was blank. I filled in that blank. I got the right coaches to help me work through it. And I wasn't aware of how it was affecting my business. So some old money story from when I was like 6 years old was carried with me into my whole lending career and my coaching business, right? Again, Alex Hormozi, can't say it enough. He's the one that I heard this phrase from, that awareness is the first step to solving a problem. If your business doesn't look like the way you want it to, you have to become aware of some of these things that might be blocking you. So number one, first one is time management. If you get through every single Monday through Friday and you feel like you didn't get enough done, you felt like you were scattered, you still feel like you didn't make progress, you don't feel like you're trending upward, your time management might be a problem. You got to become aware of that, right? One of my students said, Tiff, I work 9 a.m. to 10:30 and I have only 2 loans. And I said, well, yeah, you only have 2 loans because you only work an hour and a half a day. And she said, no, I work 9 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. and I only have 2 loans in the pipeline. And I'm like, all right, so let's become aware of what you're doing in your day that are not money-making activities and that are eating your time up. So I had her log what she was doing in her days and report back to me a couple days later. Come to find out, she's getting her nails done. She went for a walk. She had to leave and pick up the kids from school, come back, cook dinner. She wasn't working 9 a.m. to 10:30 p.m., but she wasn't aware. She thought that she was grinding it out 12 hours, however many hours in the workday. And once she became aware of her patterns in her workday that were not working in her business, but actually working on personal time, now she could go in and fix that and solve that problem. Okay. So then I taught her the right marketing strategies. She had no idea that dropping off pumpkin pies, for Thanksgiving to your realtor offices, that realtors aren't even going to be there because they work at home and they're gone for holidays. So the pies are going to mold by the time they even see them there, right? So being aware of like that, that's not the right marketing activity. Then she had my third pillar that I teach, which is mindset. She was overthinking everything. She thought she had to have a video editor and she thought her videos and her lighting wasn't good enough and her home office wasn't good enough. I mean, you know me by now. If you've followed me for a while, like this is my dining room, right? My living room, dining room. I have a brick and mortar Tiffany Rose coaching down the street, but if I'm working from home for whatever reason, I'm not going to stop producing content just because I don't have like the perfect background or I'm not at my office, and let that be a reason why I don't deliver a message for that week to you on YouTube and my podcast. So I'm aware that, hey, you know what? Maybe my background is in my office, but do you really care? Do you really just want to hear my message? So she was overthinking everything. Like, I don't have the right background. I don't have the right lighting, time management, the wrong marketing strategies, and the wrong mindset. She was killing her business and she wasn't even aware of it. So I really encourage you, after listening to this right now, I want you to think of where the biggest pitfalls are in your business, where your biggest strengths are, where your biggest weaknesses are. And I don't want you to focus on your weaknesses. Dean Graziosi, a long time ago on a podcast I listened to, talked about how he just started paying people for whatever his weaknesses are. He just paid somebody to do it. He just delegated what he didn't know how to or didn't want to build the muscle on to do. And then he focused on what he was really, really good at. So I know that I am really, really good at diving into a person's business. One of my students, I can dive into your business and within 10 minutes, I'll know if it's time management, wrong marketing strategies, or the wrong mindset. I'll know right away where your biggest thing is that we need to focus in on. I can look at your Instagram or your Facebook and within 30 seconds already develop an opinion on how I felt as a consumer and why I wouldn't book a call or would want to book a call, or what's working, what's not working, because I've seen thousands and thousands of students, potential students, current students, whatever it may be in my events and in my actual containers. I have seen so much go right and I've seen so much go wrong that I can instantly pick up on it and where they're at in the market. If they're ahead of the curve, if they're way behind, if they're becoming a dinosaur, if their social media is boring and canned, I will know. I also can quickly become aware of it because I've done a lot of stuff right and I've done a lot of stuff wrong. So I want you to learn from my mistakes. I also want you to learn from my wins. And I want you to see the huge opportunity you have right now in 2025 and moving forward as a mortgage loan originator, as a realtor, as an entrepreneur. When you automate your business, when you adopt the right mindset, when you really, really take it to heart and like put in your soul that you know that everything is energy. When you manage your time, when you start collapsing time through automations, these are all the things that it's really taking a different road in your business. But if that road, there's a big roadblock there, or you don't even know that freeway is an option, your level of awareness is going to keep you stuck. I want you to journal and write down your strengths, your weaknesses, what you think that you can improve on, what you think you can delegate. And hopefully after listening to me, and maybe you had some aha moments of like, okay, Facebook ads, MasterClasses, I've always wanted to do that. I have so many students that have been asking me on my free classes before they become a student. They're asking me, do you teach MasterClasses? Do you teach webinars? Do you teach Facebook ads? Because there's a buzz in the industry that they be knowing that is the new way of doing things. I promise you, cold calling, door knocking, one-to-one marketing, coffee appointments with realtors that don't know how to market as good as my students because I teach you how to market like a boss. That's going to become a thing of the past. Relationships are always going to be super important in our industry. Gratitude's important in life, in business, in anything, right? Some of these things are tried and true, but there's a different way of doing it now that I want you to become aware of. If I told you, again, we make more money than doctors, lawyers, nurses, first responders. One of my clients, he's like, Tiff, I would rather jump into a burning building than do paperwork. And God, I'm the opposite, right? But I want you to think about how much money we have the capability to make versus somebody that runs into burning buildings and saves lives and does all these things. We can make double, triple, quadruple, or more the amount of money through paying for speed, paying for attention, running master classes, showing up. Consistency is currency. And if your average commission is $5,000, $8,000, $10,000, I have a student's average commission is $21,000. We can make huge amounts of money and 6 figures per month doing it the new way. So I want to encourage you to write down your pitfalls, what you're resisting, what your strengths are, what you're becoming aware of, when it comes to marketing, time management, and mindset, where you can improve, where you can double down on, and all that good stuff. Because professional coaching, expanding your education and expanding your awareness, if you can kind of start harnessing all of that and getting the right kind of mentorship, oh my gosh, your business is going to thank you for it. So thanks for listening. That's all I got for you today. And share this post, like it, subscribe, make sure you comment because I'd love to hear your feedback, and go get after it and go have fun.